Hey guys, what's up? We are back with another video today, and today we are doing my Cleveland Browns mock draft, so make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below. Only about 10% of you guys are subscribed, so help me out, hit that subscribe button down below as I am going towards my goal of 900 subscribers. I am 13 away, and we have 6 days, so hit that subscribe button. It costs you absolutely nothing, it's free. Like this video if you enjoy it. If you dislike it, dislike it. Comment your thoughts and opinions down below, though. If you like it, if you dislike it, just let me know what you guys are thinking. It's great to be able to interact with you guys, and I respond to every single one of the comments. So, let's get started with today's video. Remember, the Browns don't have a first-round pick due to the Deshaun Watson trade with the Houston Texans. So, at pick number 42, I have the Cleveland Browns selecting Sakaya Iki. I think that's how you say it, Scotty B. He will be in the comments section, I'm sure, down below. So if you want to check out, if you know how to pronounce it better than I do, defensive tackle out of Baylor. Probably the third best defensive tackle pretty clearly in this class. And some people actually like him more than Bryan Bresee. So that really could be an interesting part in this debate, whether he's DT2 or whether he's DT3, both behind Jalen Carter, of course. I think that personally this is probably the biggest hole for the Browns, and I think Iki really does a good job at filling that up, and I think that that could be a big positive here for the Browns with their first pick overall. At pick number 98, I have the Browns again addressing defensive tackle with going Keanu Benton, the defensive tackle out of Wisconsin. I really think that this is a position of need, and to be honest, I think that the Browns' biggest position of need is right here, so that's what I'm going to address. I think that Keanu Benton had a great overall Senior Bowl and played really well and really started to increase his value from more of a 5th-round draft pick to more of a 3rd-round draft pick. And I think that that gives him great value right now, and being able to do that, I think that he really does increase in value there. So I really like the pick of Keanu Benton at number 98. At pick 111, I have them selecting Jayden Reed, the Michigan State wide receiver. Again, another guy that flashed at the Senior Bowl. And to be honest, I think that he could be a possible late 3rd-round guy, but more likely a day 3 guy. Early to mid-round 4 is where I think he'll be at. So anywhere from late 3 to mid 4, I think is where he's going to go. And Jayden Reed really just did a good job at being able to get separation, being able to improve his ability to be explosive out of the route. His stems were good, and being able to move quickly and have good hip fluidity in his routes and whenever he was at that point of attack, quote unquote. At pick number 126, I have the Cleveland Browns selecting Dalen Henley, the linebacker out of Washington State. I think that this is kind of one of the positions that the Browns could use a little bit of additional help in. I think Henley is one of the guys that I drafted a couple of months ago in my first ever Bears draft. You want to check that one out? You can. I'll have the card up there in the top. But Dalen Henley has gone up from a lot of people have him 6th, 7th to undrafted, all the way up to like a 4th, 3rd round pick. A guy that has really shown a lot of burst, and between him and DeMar Overshawn, the linebacker out of Texas, I think are really kind of the day 3 gems in the early part of day 3, and possibly day 2. But I think that this is where you get a lot of value with Dalen Henley, is being able to draft him in a day 3 type of setting. At pick number 142, I think another position of need opposite Myles Garrett is the second edge rusher there, and I think KJ Henry starts to fill that role. By no means do I think he is a full-time starter right away, or can be that starter permanently, really. But really what I like about KJ Henry is his consistency and his floor. He has a very, very high floor. His ceiling, I don't think is that high. But we're also talking about day 3 prospects here. I think that he could consistently get 5-6 sacks a season. That sounds pretty impressive, and it truly is. Being able to have that consistency is important, but really I think that KJ Henry fills the role of more of a third edge rusher, not a starter. So don't project him to be a starter, though I think he can be a good backup to Myles Garrett. At pick number 144, I have the Cleveland Browns selecting Shaka Hayward, the linebacker out of Duke. Again, I go back to address this issue at linebacker, and really I think that one of the biggest things that if you haven't already noticed, one of my bigger things is being able to put a lot of darts at the board. That means adding a lot of different players at one position, double dipping at defensive tackle, double dipping at linebacker. Later on, you'll see I'll double dip at edge rusher. I think that it is important to be able to throw multiple darts at the board in order to address a problem, especially when your team that doesn't need every which problem, that doesn't need a quarterback and a wide receiver and a running back and everything. I think that that's important to have is if you're going to do that. The Chiefs did it a couple of years ago when they went offensive line and they just threw all sorts of picks. They got Orlando Brown. They went for Creed Humphrey. They went for, I can't think of the Iowa State kid, Lucas Niang out of Iowa State. All sorts of darts at the board. Some of them hit, some of them didn't. Some of them were okay. That's kind of the thing is I think when you throw a lot of darts at the board, it gives you an opportunity to hit at least one or two of them, and then you can work on the other ones throughout free agency, throughout another draft or stuff like that. At pick number 190, Jalen Green. I'll be frank, and I don't know too much about Jalen Green, but what I do know is that he's a solid contributor at a position that you really can never get enough of, especially at specialization of safety. You need a backup safety, and that third safety is really actually more important than a lot of people think. It is very likely that one of your safeties is going to get injured for that simple reason, but also for the reason that you need to be able to rotate in and out of coverages, stuff like that. You may have 6 defensive backs on the field at times if you're playing a certain coverage that works with 6 defensive backs. And if you are, then it's not just needing a nickel, it's needing 3 safeties, 3 corners, or 4 corners. You got to be able to have depth. And I think that is an important part of this team. So with the final pick at 231, I have the Cleveland Browns selecting Caleb Murphy, the edge rusher out of Ferris State. And he's kind of been one of the more interesting players that I really kind of like right now. He's kind of my very late 7th round undrafted gem that I think could really burst onto the scene. At the Senior Bowl was fantastic. Not the Senior Bowl. Shrine Bowl. I get the two mixed up all the time. So he did a lot to be able to rise up to be able to improve his draft stock. And I think with that improving of draft stock, it could be really important to look at this one alone trait. His bend and his explosiveness. He has both of those, and those are important with being able to draft guys. And I think that is one of the most important things of this draft pick is you're getting a guy who can bend and be explosive. So that's going to wrap up today's video. Make sure that you hit the 2 videos down below. It will be a playlist of all my mock drafts, and hit the subscribe button up here. Again, it costs you absolutely nothing and helps me out a ton. As always, have a great day. Bye, guys.